Welcome. I'm Santa Barbara Mayor Cathy Murillo. For more than 100 years, the Santa Barbara City Council has met right here in this chamber to tackle tough decisions. On behalf of our dedicated City Council and City staff, I present you with the second installment in a series of 5 short weekly COVID-related State of the City addresses. The Santa Barbara City Council and I want to thank each of you for doing your part to follow public health directives, including faithfully wearing your face covering in public whenever possible and keeping with social distancing protocols. Your cooperation fuels a shared spirit and sense of duty to your neighbors. Just over 9 weeks ago, our nation was jolted by a pandemic outbreak that will leave an indelible emotional and financial mark here at home. Santa Barbans heeded the call and did their part, safer at home. Just over 5 weeks ago, public health officials were still bracing for the possibility of an onslaught in cases to sweep our region, and local hospitals were gearing up their emergency protocols and bed space for potential critically ill patients. Thankfully, today, because we followed instituted public health measures and a faithful execution of social distancing, worry has been replaced by evidence-based data that tangibly demonstrates our region has thus far largely avoided the fate which has befallen other parts of the country. All Santa Barbans, from school children, moms and dads, to the business entrepreneur, each have made a sacrifice above self. Because of that, we are now at the place in which we can enjoy cautious optimism about our future. Last Thursday, following the California governor's approval, Santa Barbara County's public health officer laid out criteria necessary to safely reopen retail and restaurant businesses after a self-certification process. Each participating business must now adhere to new public health-oriented measures and social distancing requirements. Keep in mind, the public health directive does not include hair and nail salons, tattoo parlors, gyms, hotels for tourists, and churches and other faith-based gathering places at this time. According to the governor, those entities are to remain closed until the state's Phase 3. Last Tuesday, the Santa Barbara City Council and I took decisive action to lift up Santa Barbara, and we timed our response simultaneously with the public health officer's action to reopen the local economy. We stood unanimous and ratified all of the preliminary recommendations brought to us by the city's COVID-19 Business Advisory Task Force and city staff to allow food service businesses to create temporary outdoor dining areas. The city addressed an array of citywide compromises to allow businesses to expand onto the public space consistent with their individual neighborhood dynamic. The vision is to allow outdoor dining on sidewalks, on-street parking spaces, some closed streets, and on private property to support the reopening and recovery of the city's food service businesses. This effort aims to stimulate and support our local businesses and their financial stability. We have more than 400 restaurants and cafes in our community, and many of them are locally owned, and they employ thousands of workers. Each week, I salute one determined local business owner who is successfully navigating the phased reopening. 25-year Santa Barbara resident and community advocate and civic business advisor Sherry Villanueva owns Acme Hospitality in the Funk Zone. This woman-owned family business employs 350 local food service personnel across 8 Santa Barbara-based eateries. Flagship restaurants include The Lark, Lokita, and Tiger, each anchored in the Funk Zone. During the last several weeks, Sherry rolled up her sleeves and volunteered herself and staff to distribute thousands of ready-to-serve meals on a daily basis to nonprofits Santa Barbara Act and the local food bank. Sherry is the perfect entrepreneurial example of service above self. Sherry, on behalf of a grateful city, thank you for doing your part to lift up Santa Barbara. One of the most exciting aspects as we lean forward is a plan to open portions of State Street as a pedestrian promenade to accommodate social distancing from Haley Street to Solis Street. This pedestrian plaza allows adjacent food service businesses the option of setting up outdoor dining areas. In turn, the public will have ample room to stroll in a safe and social distanced manner. Pedestrians are strongly encouraged to wear face coverings within the pedestrian plaza, and it'll be open daily from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Take advantage of free parking in city parking lots for the time being. The City Council and I gave City Administrator Paul Casey broad emergency authority to set this initiative in motion. Staff will return to Council on Wednesday, May 27th to ratify the legislative package. Additionally, City staff will hold a jurisdiction-specific, business-oriented California alcoholic beverage control licensing workshop. The meeting will be facilitated to help food service businesses in the city who need help navigating the expansion of their current alcohol license onto the outdoor dining space. On Wednesday, May 27th, 10:30 a.m. to noon, staff will help business owners fill out necessary documentation and draft the required planned license diagram. A state ABC technical expert will also be on hand to help answer questions. After the workshop, the city will facilitate a Thursday document drop-off location in the city to expedite the state ABC process. Local alcohol license businesses can sign up ahead of time on our city's website. The city has also established a dedicated bilingual hotline and email address to respond to food service businesses. The email address is outdoordining@santabarbaraca.gov, or you can call 805-560-7520. Council members Alejandra Gutierrez and Oscar Gutierrez will join me in hosting a Spanish language business workshop this Thursday at 9 a.m. More information about this initiative will be posted this week for our Spanish language media. Last, I'd like to take pause and take in what each of us has collectively accomplished thus far. Our continued success is possible because we have been working together in unison. We lift up Santa Barbara together. I particularly want to take note of the tireless effort of a 24/7 city staff. Our frontline workers, from first responders, park and rec staff, public works, waterfront, library, and airport personnel, this is just another day that they give their whole selves to ensure we are all safe, that we're all sound, and we're all well taken care of. We thank each of these employees for their dedication. Remember, we're in a marathon and not a sprint. The virus has not gone away, and we must remain vigilant. Please wear a face covering and abide by public health directives, and we'll continue to get through this together. Thank you, Santa Barbara. Rest assured, the city is dedicated to your health and well-being.